How's it going, everybody? My name is Badrudin. I am a Somali content creator that started off with making vlogs in Somalia, going to high school in Somalia, and people suggest me to do a how to speak Somali video once in a while. I did these two videos for the past 4 to 5 years, once every 2 years, and this video I will be doing it again. So in today's video, I'll give you steps that you can take to speak Somali and be more confident in speaking Somali fluently within a very short period of time. And disclaimer, if you are already Somali and you're watching this video, this is going to be a very broad, general video. And if you're Somali and you're already familiar with the culture and you have a lot of input, I'll talk what input is more on the video. Then this video is, you can listen to it, it can help you, but this video is technically for starters. This video is basically for someone that is looking up how to learn Somali, that has no Somali environment around them. If you're a Somali diaspora, which most of the people that watch my videos are, this video is mainly not for you. I will do another video on how to speak Somali when you can already understand it. And that video, I'll probably do it later on today and post it a couple of days from now. So make sure you subscribe if you're new to the channel and wait for that video and wait for me to post that video. But for this video is a very general understanding on how to speak Somali fluently. So without further ado, we're gonna get straight into that video. I have my notes on my laptop. If you see me looking at if you see me looking at this side, don't mind me. I'm trying to look at the notes and give you a well constructed, well thought tips and tricks. And I have a lot of materials in the comment section down below, in the description section down below. Yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. The first point is knowing Somali is very important for a lot of different reasons. For cultural connection, for business purposes, for traveling purposes. If you want to visit Somalia, where majority of people speak Somali, it's better for you to know the language. So it's actually very important to know Somali. But in this video, I will be providing you with clear step-by-step on how you can go about it to learning Somali. And as I mentioned before, this video is for generally people that don't speak Somali, that don't hear Somali most of the time. This is for newbies. Call it foreigner if you want to, but this video is mainly for people that know little to no Somali. So step number one would be learn the grammar, learn the basics. You don't have to actually know everything. You don't have to really know every grammar, everything, but just learn the basics, learn the grammar, familiarize yourself with the grammar. I would suggest learn some common sentences. I will link a YouTube channel down below that is just focused on teaching you Somali phrases that you can use. So I will leave that channel in the comments, in the description down below. Make sure you check it out. But the first step would be just learn a couple of words, like a couple of very general words that people use all the time, like skawar and setai. Just get those out of the way. So even if you see a person that's Somali, that you can just speak to them, like something you could say hi to them. Just learn a couple of things to get it started. The key phrases I would recommend you to learn would be the basics, like setai, how are you, hi, all of that stuff. So that's why I said in this video, if you are already familiar with Somali, make sure you check out the video that I'll be posting on after this. But this is for the beginner level. So try to familiarize yourself with saying hello, saying I'm good, just commonly used words. These will come in handy. And trust me when I say this, 40% of Somali communication is just based on a couple of words that people generally use it all the time. Somali is not a very big language with a lot of words and a lot of phrases. It's very common. It's very common. So yeah, try to just kickstart off with like 10, 15 words that are commonly used. Once you do that, move on to step number 2, which is build your vocabulary through daily practices. You have to practice what you learn. Like if you learn few words, try to use them. Like for example, if you learn how to say, how are you today? Just go around and try to use that. Especially nowadays, you don't even have to meet an online, like a person in real life. You can go on Omigo, Omi TV, you can go TikTok lives, you can go you can find somebody anywhere. So basically build on the words that you already learned. Because with the memory, with your brain, if you learn something and you don't use it, it's just you see it as useless and you forget about it. So use it. Even with the reaction that you get from someone else, if you say it to them and you get that reaction, it reaffirms your brain to like just have that word because it's useful. I don't know if that makes any sense. Majority of the people struggle with, like, let's say for example, like they know a word, but they don't know how to say that word in the past tense or in the future tense, if that makes any sense. So basically the words that you've learned, you can know 10 words, but based on those words, you can build a lot around it. You can know these words, past sentences, future sentences, how to use it in a particular situation. Basically, I would suggest start with 5, 10 words, commonly used words, and build on those words. Try to know how to say their past sentences, their future sentences. So that's step number 2. You see how from step number 1 to step number 2, it kind of like it gets it harder, but it's on the same flow. If that makes any sense. It was on the same path. We're doing the same thing. Step number 1 was learn the basic grammar, basic words. Number 2 is construct on those words and use them and try to like manipulate them and use them to your advantage and practice on them. So step number 3 would be practice pronunciation and listening skills. Pronunciation is very important, especially if you are used to speaking a different language, like English, for example, throughout your whole life. The pronunciation would be so different when it comes to Somali. I heard a lot of people struggle with saying that Somali sounds a lot more harsh because you're used to speaking English or Spanish, which is a lot more soft and it just flows off the tongue. But with Somali, it is a lot harder because that's why I said pronunciation is very important when it comes to Somali, because you can literally say 2 same words in English and Somali, but it will sound completely different based on how you pronounce it, how it comes across. So yeah, to all the say wallahi is watching this, this is how people, when you go back to Somalia, know that you are not from there because the way you pronounce certain words. So yeah, pronunciation is very important, and listening skills. Like listening skills, especially if you go back to Somalia, some words don't sound the same because how people speak fast, or how like they pronounce it, or like how they just comes off their tongue. They're born there, they're native. So try to practice listening. That's why I said this video is not for beginners, because most of the people that's with Somali diaspora are used to listening or hearing their mom or their parents talk. Listening skills in Somali is very important. So I would suggest just start off with while I watch a Somali podcast. I'm kind of low key a little bit frustrated. There isn't as much Somali podcast as there is in English. Even though Somalis that are making YouTube videos are making their podcast in English. So it's a bit frustrating, but so just watch more Somali videos, Somali podcasts. I would suggest if you're a bit older, watch Somali news, but that would be very hard because they use a lot of big words in the news. But anyways, in general, listening skills is by far the most important, especially if you're like a beginner. If you're not really a Somali, if you're not like a Somali diaspora and you're just maybe a foreigner that just want to learn Somali, in my opinion, you should just start off with that. Every language has its own rhythm, like how it flows up the tongue. Once you get used to that and once you hear it a lot, it will be easier for you to just go on from there and you kind of familiarize yourself with Somali and how it sounds. Tip number 4 or 5, I'm not really sure, is use learning apps. There's actually a lot of upcoming Somali learning apps that are there nowadays. So if you want to learn Somali, just if you use iPhone, try to use what is it called? App Store, and just Google off Somali learning apps or Duolingo. I'm not sure if they have Somali language, but I think I've seen somewhere on TikTok a Somali learning app that literally resembles Duolingo. If that exists, perfect. Try to find those apps. If you're in your if you want to like teach your kids when they're young, the best way to do them is apps. Even if you're old, the best way to be more engaged in what you're learning is through apps. In my personal opinion, it makes it fun. It makes it more like a game. You can just go to the next level, unlock. If you pronounce 3 words right, it unlocks something. It's just more fun to learn. So try to find Somali apps. I will link everything in the description down below. Number 6 or step 6 would be immerse yourself in the culture. Like immerse yourself in the culture. I know it could be hard, especially if you live in the West, but I feel like there's Somalis everywhere. Like if you're in the US, go to Minnesota, for example, just try to immerse yourself in the culture as much as possible. Because I feel like, personally, I feel like the more you're in the culture, the easier it is for you to learn. And I'm not just talking about the speaking and learning and listening. Of course, those help. But overall, I feel like it comes as a package. The more you're immersed in the culture, the more you see videos and the more, not videos, the more you eat the Somali food, the more it just motivates you to learn, and it just becomes second nature in my opinion. So tip number 6 or 5, not sure, would be immerse yourself in the culture. If you're Somali, you might as well go back to Somalia and just have a perfect holiday in Somalia, in Lida Beach, in Jazeera Beach, the best beaches I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot of beaches. So yeah, immerse yourself in the culture overall. Step number 7 would be set a fluency goal, or set yourself a goals each month or every 2 months or every 3 months or every week, depending how you pace yourself. Set yourself goals. Like for example, set yourself to have your 1 minute conversation this week, or maybe next week try to have 3 minute conversation, or the week after that try to have 5 minute conversation in Somali, purely in Somali, and maybe next month try to have 10 minute conversation in Somali, and maybe a year from that day you can try to speak Somali for like half a day, or a full day. So that would be step number 7 in my opinion. Track your process. You can like track your process and like push yourself. But if you don't really track it, if you don't know how long you can speak Somali, then you wouldn't really know if you made any progress. So I would say track your progress, and it will motivate you. Sometimes it might demotivate you depending on how long you can speak, especially if you're starting off and you just see yourself speaking Somali for like less than a minute, it might demotivate you. But this, of course, this video specifically is for beginners, then I wouldn't blame you. Then this is a bit wide range, and it might take you a month from go to step 1 to step 2. You can come back to this video and reference it a year, 2 years from now. So step number 7 would be set yourself a goal and push yourself harder. A bonus tip would be, if you made it to this part of the video, a bonus tip would be to have patience. Be patient. This is the very important tip. I might make it its own number 9, but I would just give it to you as a bonus tip. Be patient and persistent. I feel like this tip might be more important than the entire video combined. Because if you're not persistent on anything in life, you can't have it. If you're not persistent on pushing yourself to speak Somali 2 minutes today, or maybe 20 minutes in a few months, if you're not persistent on it, then you can't really get yourself to learn and speak Somali. So this is very important, and this is a bonus point. And okay, don't forget this. Be persistent. Please be persistent. Okay? And have patience, of course. And to conclude the video, I'll summarize it for you. If you're a new beginner and you know nothing about Somali, I would say learn few words. Try to familiarize yourself with how Somali sounds, the language. So you don't have to understand it. Just familiarize yourself with how it sounds, and just learn the basic words. And if you feel more confident from there, try to use those words and build around it. Try to use that word that you've learned, past sentence, future sentence, and just kind of spread out from there. Build on what you know. And if you're still confident at that point, try to push yourself and have 2 minute conversation today, and tomorrow make it 5 minutes, and a month from now, a year from now, make it a whole day of you just speaking Somali, nothing else, and immerse yourself in the culture and go out and practice and be confident and try to learn how to pronounce things. That's overall a summary of this video. It's a very basic video, which is going to take you a lot of time. So you can save this video and reference back to, just to see which step you're on now, and just pick it up from there. I'm really confident that you can do it. Also, if you want to support my channel, you can join the membership, or you can buy my flashcards. I have a animal Somali alphabet flashcards. I will put it in the comments in the link down below. It will be the top link. If you want to support me, please just buy it. It's like less than $5. But yeah, that would be the end of the video. I'm really hopeful that you can do this. I did my research on this. That's why I keep looking down on my laptop. But yeah, this will be the end of the video. Hopefully, let me know, please. Give me a feedback if this helped you. If it didn't, let me know what I can improve on. I'm here to just give you tips. And if you want to really learn the words, it's all about you. You need to take the actions to do your research, learn the words, and try to practice. I can't do that for you. But yeah, anyways, that'll be the end of the video. Please leave a like, subscribe. 90% of my viewers are not subscribed. If you made it to this part of the video, comment down Somalia in the comment section down below. And yeah, till then, ma'asalam. Bye.